All right, today we're going to look at the iPad for professional recording. A lot of people think, well, the iPad's just a toy, and I'm here to tell you that it has a lot of very, very cool peripherals, new apps coming out that are bringing this item here, which is typically used for gaming, reading, consuming media, fast turning into the leading tool for creating media, particularly audio. To change your perception of this, let's look back in 1985 to 1992 when digital recording first started. There were a lot of people out there who were very, very excited about the ADAT and the DA88 that were coming out at the time. That was 8 tracks of digital recording, and the fact that it was relatively portable. The iPad right now, depending on which app you use, can do 8 tracks of digital recording. Now the trick there is that you can do 2 channels at a time. Most recording these days are done 1 or 2 channels at a time anyways. That's the best way to get isolation. So we're going to show you a couple of the different interfaces today that are available on the market and what the difference between them are. First, let's start with something very, very simple. This is the Apogee JAM. This is a line level input or a guitar. It's mostly made for guitar, but you definitely can put a line level in here and adjust the gain. Has a great little LED here to tell you when you're clipping, and then just get right below that point. It goes in with a 24-bit AD converter into the iPad. What's really cool about this, and there's some videos on our site and other sites as well that show you leveraging and using the Amp Designer, version of Amp Designer that is in the GarageBand app. So very, very cool. This thing is a $99 device, so an iPad plus 99 bucks, and you can start recording guitar, bass, any line level in. The other thing you can do is you can actually hook a mic preamp up to this and then drive a microphone in through this with a 24-bit conversion, and I should say world-class 24-bit conversion from our friends at Apogee, so that's very cool. We also have here the Apogee One. Now this is a 1-channel device input as well, but the difference with this is a couple-fold. Number one, it has a fantastic little mic, a condenser mic in here, and we've got some examples on our site. And there's some examples on the Apogee site of just how good this microphone sounds, and it's built right into the system here. Has an ability to adjust the gain right here, so this is an interface and microphone in one. One of the cool things here is that it has a mic preamp in it, and it comes with this dongle, so you can either go in with the guitar line level or direct in with a mic with 48-volt phantom power, so you can put condenser microphones directly into this. We have a great example video coming on our site showing us using this 48-volt input with a Mojave MA100 microphone to a drum set with 1 mic. Sounds absolutely amazing. So don't underestimate what a $249 interface with microphone can do for you. So those are the Apogee offerings. And the nice thing about Apogee is they're really, really holding the quality high, keeping it at 24-bit. Now there's nothing wrong with 16-bit. 16-bit still gets you 96 dB of signal to noise ratio in the digital realm, roughly around 89 dB once you kind of get the analog circuitry of the AD converters in there. Show you another very, very cool device here is the Alesis iODock. One of the coolest things about this is the only interface for the iPad on the market that allows you to do 2 simultaneous inputs. You can actually record 2 separate inputs simultaneously in GarageBand. We have a how-to tutorial on how to do that on our site. And what's really neat about that is that by the time you stack up 2 channels times 8, you actually have a 16-channel recorder built right into the iPad. So that's pretty amazing stuff. The other nice thing about this, it has MIDI in out, so you can use it as a controller or bring a controller into this for your MIDI, for your virtual instruments in the iPad, or use some of the iPad's virtual instruments to send the MIDI out. So that's pretty neat. This does have phantom power as well. It has 2 outputs for a right-left speaker, so you can actually put this in your studio, slide in, and you've got a full-blown DAW and interface in one. The iPad just simply slides right in here and docks in. The other nice thing about this is it has a headphone output as well, and separate main and headphone volume controls. I've used this remotely. It's very easy to carry around. The other really nice thing about this is when you slide this in, this will power your iPad. So you don't have to worry about running out of power or being charged up before you go on site. You just plug it in, and this will power the iPad. That is one thing to be aware when you're using the Apogee units, is that they will use the docking port here, but they won't supply power to it. So the iPad has to be fully powered. That's typically not a problem. I did a session this past weekend with the Apogee unit, and we did a 4-hour session and didn't even use half the battery of the iPad. So there's not a lot to worry about with that, but you do have to be aware that you want the iPad charged before you go remote. And that's another nice thing about the iPad, is just how amazingly portable this thing is. I mean, you think about that 16-channel recording studio right here, this portable, and the sound quality is amazing. And I look forward to you listening to some of our videos, some of our example files, and hearing just what kind of amazing things that this thing can do, not just from a standpoint of capturing, but also from a standpoint of creating and composing. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what's available as far as interfaces go for the iPad. Hopefully it also gives you some ideas of what you can do with the iPad. Definitely stay tuned to our site. We're going to be showing you some very, very cool stuff.